are discussing about the topic. We are going to explain about the topic name is Advanced Java. In the Advanced Java, there is a concept like JDBC. So today we have to discuss about that. So first of all, what is mean by JDBC and what are the steps inside the JDBC? Today in this section we have to learn. So JDBC, right? JDBC. JDBC stands for Java Database Connection. So Uh, the main definition of JDBC is used to it will connect the Java application to the database. That means it will connect the all Java application, whatever it may be, inside the Java application. We have to connect into to the database, right? So that's the main intention of the JDBC. That means Java application, right? So Java application can be is connected to the database to perform. That means to perform any CRUD operations like create, update, read, and delete based on the database tables, CRUD operations based on the CRUD operations. And if you want to connect with any database, we have mainly four properties required. That's the main important. So connect with database. We have mainly four properties. That first property URL. We have to give the URL for the database, right? So connect with the database means we have to provide the what database URL. It means if you want to connect with your Oracle, you have to give the URL of Oracle. If you want to connect with someone, we have the embedded databases like H2 or HSQL, Apache Turbo, or MySQL, SQL, like that. We have to provide the URL. And second one, driver class name. My driver class. Okay. Third one, uh, username. Username we have to provide. And fourth one, password for the database. These more main four properties are the used to connect with any database. That is in-memory database or persistent database also. Permanent database or temporary database also. These four properties will be main important for that. Okay. In the JDBC, mainly five steps required. Those five steps will be perform the connection between will connect the Java application to the whatever it may be database. Okay. So first step, listen carefully. First step is used to connect. First one, create. Uh, first step we use to load the driver. Load the driver. And second one, create connection. Want to create the connection. And third one, create statement. And fourth step, execute the query. Execute the query. Execute the query. And fifth one, main, close the connection. Connection. These five steps are uh, is mainly required for any JDBC application. That means it will connect to the Java application to any database application. These five steps will be main important. First one, load the drive, right? So first one, load the drive. Load the drive. Load the driver. First of all, you have to load the driver, right? So for the load the driver, we use some one method like class dot for name method. For name method is used to load the driver. Either it may be static method present in the class. So if you want to load the driver, use the class for name method. Okay, this method is required to load the driver. After loading the driver, okay, second, that means after loading the driver, we have the driver manager service. Driver manager service. Service. After loading that, so we have the driver manager service here. So all drivers, that means all drivers after loading, okay, after loading the all drivers can be registered, registered, registered in the driver manager service, registered in the DMS, that means driver manager service. Okay, after loading the driver, all drivers can be registered in the driver manager service. After that, create the connection. So, if you want to create the connection, we use the like um, get connection method. Get connection. Get connection method we use. You want to create the connection. Inside the get connection method, we have mainly three parameters. First one, URL. Second one, username, and the third one, password. You have to give. That's the mandate. Okay. By using the get connection method, you have to create the connection for to which to the DMS. That means driver manager service. Driver manager service. We use the get connection method. Okay. After that, if 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 the driver is not loaded, for suppose if the driver is not loaded, so it will rises. I have forgotten one point. If the driver will be not loaded, so it will rise on exception like what exception? Class not found exception. Okay, that exception will be raised. Class not found exception. That exception will be raised. If the get connection will be failed, that means the connection will be failed. If the if connection will be fail means then what exception? SQL exception will be raised. SQL exception. Okay. These exception can be handled by after the executing the query. After before closing the connection, we will handle the exceptions. Okay. And third point, create the statements. Before create the statements, you have to learn about what are the different types of queries we have. We have the different types of queries. First one is static query, static query, and second one dynamic query, dynamic query, dynamic query, and the third one stored processes, stored procedures, stored processes. Okay, stored processes. Okay. First of all, we have to learn about static query. Static query is nothing but initially we are taking the values as fixing. That means values fixed. Whatever we are giving the initial values are fixed. We does not change. That means will not change at the runtime or any time. Fixed, right? For suppose if you want to create any table, create any table. You are giving some values to it. So some employee, create table rate, table, table and rate. So table, employee. So after that, we are writing like employee ID, something. So we are giving the fixed values. Uh, if you take the example like drop table, employee. If you want to drop let the fixed table rate, you have to drop. So these fixed values comes under the static query. And the second one, dynamic query. Dynamic query means always dynamically the values will be changing in the runtime also. So dynamically that means multiple values, multiple multiple user inputs, user inputs will be changed. Multiple user inputs. Okay. Dynamic query means different types of inputs we are giving, different inputs values we are giving. For suppose example, we have to take like insert into employee, some insert into employee values. We are inserting some values. So some dynamically, right? So we have to take question mark. Okay, we cannot question and we have to take question mark like that. We are inserting the values. Or if you want to update also same, like that. We have to the input and store procedures, store procedures. Store procedures is nothing but these are the functions are available at the database. Database side it will be available. Database, database it will be available. Okay, database side it will be available. After that, available. Okay, there are three types of rules. So we want to create the statement. We have the mainly three types of statement. First one is statement object, that means statement, and second one is prepared statement, and third one is callable statement. Statement object. Statement object is used to uh, that means create the statement object for static queries to execute static queries. We use the statement object. Statement object, right? If you want to execute the dynamic queries, so if you want to execute the dynamic values, that means multiple user values, we use the prepare statement. That means we are creating the prepare statement. Prepare statement object. Statement object. If you want to execute the stored procedures or functions, we use the callable statement. Callable, callable statement. Like that we have to. So if you want by using if you want to create the statement, we use the and, create statement method. That means inside that. So create, right. So third one, create statement by using create statement method. Statement statement method. We have to create. If you want to create the statement for static queries, we use the statement object. Dynamic queries, prepare statement. For stored procedures, callable statement. And then execute the query. That means we have the mainly two methods. First one is execute update. First one execute updates. Execute update. Execute update and execute query. Execute update is very simple. Listen carefully. Execute update means executing execute the DDL and DML comments. DML comments, and it will returns after executing. It returns only integer value. Returns int value. For suppose if you take DDL command like create, it will return what input, right, integer value, right? So create 0. Like if you want to take drop also 0, and if you want to take DML commands like inserting the values like 1. If you want to delete or update means after it is also integer value, right? So yeah, updations means our value will be changes, right? So count, and after that delete also same count, and drop table that means 0, like execute update. And second one is execute query method with her. Execute, execute, execute query method. Execute query method means executing the selected query. Is nothing but execute query. Execute, execute the selected query by using the execute query. After executing the selected query, then it will returns all the records, right? So that means group of records will be returns. Group of records will be returns. So we have to store, right? So if we want to store the all table data, we use here result set. So execute the selected query, and it will returns the and execute the selected query by using execute query method, and it will returns the group of records. Then we'll store into the result set. Result set. Okay. Yeah, that's the main advantage of results. If you want to read, so all values will be stored in the results. Okay. If you want to read row by row, that means one by one, we use the next method. Next method we use. If you want to read all the records inside the result set, so we using while loop inside the result set dot next method. For that, based on the condition, then all records will be printed. That means it will be selected. It will returns all values one by one. Okay, not row by row. To read all the values, we use the while loop. These are the main points. Means first of all, loading the driver after by using the class dot for name method. If it will be loading will be failed, then it will throws the class not found exception, and create the connection. Create the connection for by using the for name method. For name method we have to create the connection to the driver manager. Driver manager service. Driver manager service. Inside the driver manager service, all drivers can be registered here. After that registration is completed in the driver manager service. Then we have to create the connection to the driver manager service. So it will be connected by using the for name method, get connection method. In the get connection method is not there, then it will throw the exception like SQL exception. So mainly get connection method we have the three parameters: URL, username, password. After that we have to create the statement. We have the three types of statements: statement, prepare statement, and callable statement. For executing the static queries, we use the statement object. We have to create the statement object. For executing the dynamical queries, we use the prepare statement. For executing the uh, stored procedures or functions, we use the mainly callable statement. We have to create the object like statement, create statement, prepare statement, callable statement based on the requirement. After that, we use the execute update method in the execute query method. we are executing the selected query and it will be stores all the records and it will returns a group of records, right? So those are records will be showed in the result set. Inside the result set, we use the, if you want to row by row, we use the next method. If there is no row by row, we want all record set, use the while like that. Then JDBC will be connected. That means our application will be connected to the database by using the JDBC. That's all for today. Thank you.